up on Cronkite News. The Arizona Legislature approves extra funding to combat wildfires.
Also ahead, how do those who have to work outside survive the heat? We talked to some in the field.
And later on Break It Down, the increase of women coaching in male-dominated sports.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Emily Carmen.
And I'm Gianluca D'Elia. Thank you for joining us.
The Arizona Legislature passed a bill to fund a response to the wildfire emergency. The bill, which would provide $100 million for emergency response, passed both branches of the legislature with overwhelming bipartisan support. The bill provides $75 million for firefighting, flood prevention, and recovery efforts. It also sets aside $25 million to pay state prisoners to clear brush and other flammable material. The few Democrats who did not vote for the bill said the state needs to do more to address drought and climate change, which they say are the root causes of these fires. Leaders from both rural and urban areas of the state told the legislature they are worried about fallout from big fires, particularly flooding in fire areas when monsoon storms arrive. As for fire updates, officials say the Telegraph fire is now burning over 165,000 acres. The Pinnacle fire in southeastern Arizona has forced evacuations in 2 rural towns. Another small fire near Strawberry has forced the evacuations of campers near Fossil Creek.
As the fires burn, smoke continues to move across areas of the state. Arizona's Department of Environmental Quality issued an ozone high pollution advisory warning and a watch warning for the Phoenix area. The department's air quality meteorologist says smoke monitors didn't exceed federal health standards, but ozone monitors did. He says the high ozone levels, which reached the very unhealthy category, are due to smoke in the air. The warnings are triggered when the levels exceed federal health standards. That means people who are sensitive to ozone need to take precautions like working from home. Also, anyone with asthma or lung conditions should avoid being outside and keep their windows closed.
As the summer temperatures remain in the triple digits, people are encouraged to stay inside. However, power line workers don't have much of a choice. Cronkite News reporter Isabella Fredrickson shows us how these workers stay safe.
During excessive heat warnings, most of us spend our time comfortably inside with the AC on high. That is all thanks to the hard-working power line workers who spend hours in the extreme heat to ensure residents have electricity. How do these workers stay safe? Robert Horn, manager of distribution line maintenance at Salt River Project, explains they prepare for the heat before summer even starts.
We do a lot of stuff in the cooler months to try to get our system up to par to be able to withstand the heat of the summer. So hopefully we don't have to be out there as much. We reduce our outages to our customers where we can, and so we really work to try to minimize our exposure the best we can to both our personnel and our customers.
Horn admits that while they can do a lot to be ready ahead of time, at the end of the day, workers still have to be outside, so they do all that they can to lessen the impact of the sun.
We start as early as we can in the morning, provide shade structures, and like I say, take breaks, watch out for one another. Safety is paramount here at SRP, and so we like to ensure that they have all the tools and resources and training they need to be able to withstand the heat.
While Horn and other managers do all that they can to prepare workers for the excessive heat, he explains that it is the crew who serves the most important role in ensuring each other's safety.
I mean, it really comes down to the individuals out in the field looking out for one another and making sure they're staying hydrated, taking as many breaks as they need in order to stay cool and not get themselves into a situation where, they succumb to a heat-related illness.
In Mesa, Isabella Fredrickson, Cronkite News.
And you've no doubt felt the record-breaking heat. When Phoenix hit 117 degrees today, they broke a previous record of 114 degrees set in 2015. Katie Cheshire is here to tell us if we're going to be staying in record-breaking territory.
if you've been feeling hot this week, you're not the only one. Across the country, temperatures are extremely high, starting in Phoenix and going all the way up to Chicago. You can see there's several stops along the way which are over 100 degrees, like Kansas City and Dodge City, which come in at 101 and 103. In Phoenix specifically, the high tomorrow is 117 degrees, and that is pretty consistent with the rest of the state. Down in Yuma, we have 116, up in the Grand Canyon, 95, and even our low on this map, Flagstaff, is 89, which would be a great grade if you were trying to take a test, but it doesn't feel so great out there in the heat. And the National Weather Service agrees. They've issued a heat warning across the state that's in effect till 8 p.m. Saturday. All the pink area on this map is under heat warning. You can see that covers most of the west of the state. As far as your 8-day forecast, in the next 3 days, we do have that heat alert. So if you're celebrating holidays like Juneteenth, Father's Day, the summer solstice, please try and do those celebrations inside in the air conditioning. And as far as next week goes, we will be returning to slightly more normal temperatures, but it is still Arizona in the summer, so try to stay inside, stay safe, because it's going to be hot out there. In the Weather Center, Katie Cheshire, Cronkite News.
Governor Doug Ducey went to Nogales to address the trade relations between Mexico and Arizona. While there, he celebrated the opening of a facility that is said to boost jobs near the border. Governor Ducey says the relationship between his state and Mexico is strong and will continue to be so. On Wednesday, he was on hand for the debut of a 60,000 square foot cooler facility. The hope is that the new facility will create jobs and boost commerce in the area.
As many of us here know, last year brought numerous challenges for trade and commerce. Arizona's total exports were down by over 20%, and our exports to Mexico were down by 14%. And yet, despite all our setbacks, Mexico is still Arizona's #1 trading partner.
The cooler is part of Chamberlain Distributing, a company that imports fruits and vegetables from Mexico. Last year, trade between Arizona and Mexico totaled nearly $16 billion.
Coming up on Cronkite News, we take a look at the dangers of the Delta COVID variant. What are the symptoms and the dangers for vaccinated people?
And later, President Biden signs a bill designating the first new federal holiday since 1983. Details on how Juneteenth will be recognized nationwide.
Cronkite News provides students at ASU's Walter Cronkite School of Journalism with the opportunity to gain real-world experience in the newsroom. At Cronkite News, our students produce professional content for audiences by taking on all roles, whether they be reporting, anchoring, producing, or studio production. Each department gives students first-hand professional newsroom experience. For more information, visit cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
Ready to watch the best of PBS anytime, anywhere, on nearly any device? It's easy with the free PBS Video app. Simply download the PBS Video app on your mobile or streaming device. Now you can watch the latest PBS episodes or catch up on the shows you missed. Discover new favorites from PBS and local content from your PBS station.
Here we go, lights up. Whoa.
As artists, we conduct our educations in public. You can never know whether it's going to be a success. One just has to risk it.
It's you and the work and the place. It's a very particular relationship.
Here's our lens. Tell us what you think.
Friday night at 9 on Arizona PBS.
Across the country, mask mandates and COVID-19 precautions are being lifted. Here in Arizona, more than 6 million vaccine doses have been administered. But there are warnings that the COVID-19 Delta variant is rising. Cronkite News reporter Tina Giuliano spoke with the head of the White House's Equity Task Force about how the U.S. plans to move forward.
The Delta variant, or you might see written as this number, was first detected in India back in February. Now it has spread in the U.S., accounting for nearly 10% of the U.S. COVID-19 cases, as you can see right here. The CDC named the Delta variant a variant of concern, meaning that scientists believe it is a more serious version of the disease. The CDC says about 60% more contagious and could become the dominant strain in the U.S. very soon. The symptoms are similar, according to officials. The loss of taste and smell is a rarer symptom, but in terms of the Delta variant, the main ones to look out for are headache, runny nose, and fever. The good news is, according to the CDC, current vaccines are effective against Delta, which means fully vaccinated people are protected.
Right now, we see the Delta variant. We know people are struggling with long COVID, debilitating symptoms that could last for months or longer. So just kind of adding to the list of reasons why people should go out and get vaccinated, and quite frankly, need to do it now. It's very urgent.
NUNEZ-SMITH says study after study shows the vaccine's effectiveness against the variants. Here in Arizona, state officials report that 91% of COVID-positive cases in May were found in unvaccinated people, and about 48%, or 3.5 million Arizonans, have received at least one dose of the vaccine. Arizona has about 3 million people who are fully vaccinated. At the Google Touch, Tina Giuliano, Cronkite News.
President Biden signed a bill today making Juneteenth a federal holiday. The day commemorates the end of slavery in the United States. Juneteenth is the first federal holiday established since Martin Luther King Jr. Day in 1983. The legislation gained momentum following Black Lives Matter protests sparked by the police killing of George Floyd last year. It was also helped after Democrats won the White House and control of Congress. The bill passed the House and Senate earlier this week. The U.S. Office of Personnel Management announced Thursday that most federal employees will observe the holiday on Friday, since Juneteenth falls on Saturday this year.
As I was walking down, I regret that my grandchildren aren't here, because this is a really, really, really important moment in our history. By making Juneteenth a federal holiday, all Americans can feel the power of this day and learn from our history and celebrate progress and grapple with the distance we've come, but the distance we have to travel, Jim.
There are very few options for female athletes to play professionally in the United States. We take a look at a new volleyball league that's giving women that opportunity.
This month in Passport, your on-demand library of the best of PBS.
Everyone has secrets. Are you protecting someone?
I have no choice.
You do have a choice. You're looking at him.
That's amazing. We could be standing on top of a T-Rex right now.
Women demanded new space and pushed the boundaries of what being a lady means.
These and other shows are available with Passport. Become a member of this PBS station, sign in, and start streaming today.
Cronkite News is more than your local news station. Through our innovative ideas, we create new ways to connect with our viewers and have their stories be heard. Our cutting-edge technology allows us to take a deeper dive into seeking the truth and delivering new perspectives. Stay up to date on top Arizona stories anytime on TikTok, Twitter, and Facebook at Cronkite News.
Hey, I'm Rick Steves. You know, I don't go anywhere without my passport. And now, thanks to PBS Passport, you can travel with me and watch all 10 seasons of Rick Steves Europe and all my travel specials. This exclusive streaming service is just for our members. Not only can you see all my shows, but you can see thousands of hours of your favorite public television shows. Become a member today and get your passport.
The Arizona State football program is being investigated for potential recruiting violations. There are allegations that coaches invited athletes to campus when recruiting was paused due to COVID-19. This was confirmed by ASU's Vice President of Media Relations and Strategic Communications, who said, quote, ASU can confirm the NCAA is conducting an investigation regarding allegations related to our football program. The university is unable to provide further comment at this time due to NCAA bylaws.
For most women, their athletic playing careers end after college with few professional options in the United States. Cronkite News reporter Erin Slindy tells us how a new professional sports league is changing the game for female athletes in the country.
There are many female athletes that dream about playing their sport at the professional level. But there are very few opportunities for females to play professionally in the United States.
You hear a lot about professional athletes for basketball and football going to the NFL or the NBA, but it was like, what's next for volleyball?
Willow Johnson dreamed of becoming a professional volleyball player when she was growing up. Now, that dream is a reality. Johnson played in the new Athletes Unlimited Volleyball League that was located here in the United States. She hopes she can be a role model for the next generation of volleyball players.
I feel unfortunate that I didn't have, I want to be like that girl when I get older. I never had that, and that's because I didn't watch enough volleyball.
Johnson may not have had a volleyball role model, but her dad, former Arizona Diamondbacks Hall of Fame pitcher Randy Johnson, pushed her to be the best.
It's just almost been like drilled in me to just be competitive.
Johnson earned a full ride scholarship to the University of Oregon, where she was an All-American and All-Pac-12 honorable mention. Johnson decided to come back home to Arizona, but it wasn't long before she was ready to try playing professionally again.
They were like, there's a spot for you if you want it. And I felt like, okay, at that point, I felt like I was ready.
The league just wrapped up their first season with several matches being played on CBS Sports Network and Fox Sports 1. Playing for a television audience not only showcases the sport, but it also gives the next generation of players a sense of what's possible.
It gives these kids something to look forward to. Not everybody wants to move to another country to continue to, excel in their career, and so I just think it's another outlet.
Young volleyball players around the country can now turn on the TV and watch volleyball being played and covered at the highest level. Johnson was once a young athlete with a dream. Now, young athletes with the same dream can watch players like Johnson and strive to be the next generation of professional volleyball players in the United States. In Phoenix, Erin Slindy, Cronkite News.
The Athletes Unlimited Professional League plans to be back in the fall for the second season of professional volleyball in the United States. That's it for Cronkite News tonight. Thank you for joining us.